Welcome back on Discussion Week, but before we start, thank you all so much for the incredible support you showed me on the Dave East album review. I really appreciate that. But I'm just gonna go right ahead with it with the Dogma Resistance album review. Well, LP review, but basically an album. If you look at the full length of the full length of the album is 10 tracks with a runtime about between 15 to 20 minutes if you add the included with the interludes. If it wasn't for the interludes, it would be completely shorter than that. But I just want to get straight into it because we have three topics this time. So let's just talk about Dogma Resistance. This is by far my most anticipated album. I anticipated for this, and obviously the entire community anticipated for this project to release for about a year now. It's been announced for about a year, and ever since the Disorder track, from there it started following up to the story itself, because this is not just an album, it's a story about how the mobs are going to the machines. Well, yeah, the machine, which is in the cover photo. Speaking about the cover of the album, it's literally the story to it. You know, you're traveling far, you're going to the jungles. Jungle Fury is one of the tracks. Also, going to the desert land, making your way to this final boss. If you think about a video game, adventurous games, for example, my one of my favorite games of all time, Ratchet and Clank. You know, you're going out your ways, finding what boss is behind all this madness, and from there on, you have to defeat the boss. And obviously, we know who wins here. Bonus track is called Like That, which has a more funk to the track that Riot doesn't normally do. This is something that I didn't expect Tom to do. And if you're wondering who Tom is, he's one of the members of Riot. Speaking about Riot, I got their shirt right now. You know, one of their biggest supporters here on this channel. I really loved it. You know, it was shocking to actually know that it was a complete story, and I didn't expect these guys to do something this just insane. Like, it's crazy to me how much they came along ever since the first Disorder. And I keep mentioning that because it's a follow up to, the rebirth of Disorder. And if we didn't have that, there would be no Dogma Resistance, in my personal opinion. The only downfall about this LP would have to be the fact that is there are so many interludes in it. Well, not as many, but as they mentioned, there will be 10 tracks. I would think it was all like actual tracks instead of like the interludes or the bonus. I thought it was going to be full on songs, or that. And if they were going to just do the interludes, then that's fine, because the interludes are basically letting us know what's going to happen throughout this entire project. That's about it with the negative thoughts on the LP. Really, there absolutely isn't any bad songs on this project. Riot normally does a mixture between this metal and the electric guitars, which Blackwater has that electric guitars that is just, it's a non-stop banger from beginning to the end. And I think Blackwater will make it in the best of 2019. It certainly got my vote. I was waiting for them to release something incredible like that ever since Overkill. The community loved it. Even some people are considering it a classic, and it'll be there. I just don't think it's a classic at the moment because it just released. Give it some time. But I think it'll be a classic within a couple of years from now. Like, it's just incredible. They obviously did something great with this, and yeah, I love it. I'm gonna give it a Operation 8 out of 10. Following up to all this that they have been doing for a few years now, they deliver something that hasn't been done in a while, and we are witnessing history, ladies and gentlemen. This, sorry for the camera moving. This is by far the best year of Monstercat, in my personal opinion. Although I haven't been a member for that long, ever since the beginning when they first started, I've always supported their work. I love the community. I love Monstercat as the label, and Mike Darlington for making this happen. Let's move on to the next topic. We got YK Osiris. Look at this guy. This guy. What he did that was so bad that got him arrested was, of course, the physical, attacks on his girl. I think I don't really care, but it was that I want to understand like physical attack, but he bit this girl, and it's like it's weird to me because why? People are weird, Why would you even think about doing that to any human being? Like I know like hand to hand is like something, and in my personal opinion, I feel like no one should hit anyone, like regardless if you're a guy or a girl. I don't think it's fair to say, oh, you're not supposed to hit women because that's their. I feel like it's ridiculous, and like there's no point. Like anyone can attack anyone, where the boundaries are regards. You can't really expect a guy not to hit back when, of course, they will, depending on their patience, on if they have that patience. It's just, I think it is ridiculous in my point of view because what if it was to a point where the woman has something that shouldn't even be in her hands, and there's to a point where a guy can't do anything because of this outcome that's just unnecessary. I think no one should hit anyone at the end of the day. That's just how I personally look at it. That's just ridiculous because anyone can fight back. So that's my preference. But YK Osiris, what he did here was just ridiculous. You don't bite anyone in the face. I mean, come on, dude. That's just, you're weird. And moving on from that, we have, of course, and I'm not going to edit this out, we have J.Cole, which J.Cole is one of my favorite new artists of this generation. He's releasing an album in 2020. I forgot what it's called already, but I remember the announcement as he said it was going to be released later on in 2020, and I honestly can't wait for this because J. Cole released my favorite album from this decade, which is the Forest Hills Drive. It really has helped me a lot through high school, and I really appreciate him for what he's done in this era. He also released one of my favorite mixtapes called The Warm Up. The Warm Up is actually incredible. I remember hearing it back then. It was fantastic. Nonetheless, I really can't wait for this project. I know people are crapping on it now, but it's J. Cole, so I'm expecting a lot from him. And yeah, that's about it for discussion week. I know there was a lot to discuss, including my anticipated album, the Dogma Resistance. Link in the description for the entire album mix as Monstercat released the full length of the album all in one. Like usually they don't do anything like that, but they started doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are your thoughts on Dogma Resistance? Was it great? Or was it good? Was it bad? Let me know your thoughts. Also, how do you feel about YK Osiris' attack on this female and, of course, J. Cole's album in 2020? Let me know how you all feel about that. And